Makkan, Avenge loss in Badr, Battle of Uhud. The next battle between the Quraysh and the Muslims was the Battle of Uhud, a hill about 4 miles to the north of Medina. The idolaters, to revenge their loss at Badr, made tremendous preparations for a new attack upon the Muslims. They collected an army of 3,000 strong men, of whom 700 were armed with coats of mail, and 200 horses. These forces advanced under the conduct of Abu Sufyan, and encamped at a village 6 miles from Medina, where they gave themselves up to spoiling the fields and flocks of the Medanites. The Prophet, being much inferior to his enemies in number, at first determined to keep himself within the town and to receive them there. But afterwards, the advice of some of his companions prevailing, he marched out against them at the head of 1,000 men, of whom 100 were armed with coats of mail, but he had no more than 1 horse, besides his own, in his whole army. With these forces he halted at Mount Uhud. He was soon abandoned by Abdullah ibn Ubay, the leader of the hypocrites, with 300 of his followers. Thus, the small force of the Prophet was reduced to 700. At Mount Uhud the Muslim troops passed the night, and in the morning, after offering their prayers, they advanced into the plain. The Prophet contrived to have the hill at his back, and the better to secure his men from being surrounded, he placed 50 archers on the height in the rear, behind the troops, and gave them strict orders not to leave their posts whatever might happen. When they came to engage, the Prophet had superiority at first, but afterward, his archers left their position for the sake of plunder, thus allowing the enemy to attack the Muslims in the fear and surround them. The Prophet lost the day, and very nearly lost his life. He was struck down by a shower of stones and wounded in the face by 2 arrows, and one of his front teeth was broken. Of the Muslims, 70 men were killed, among whom was the Prophet's uncle Hamza. Of the infidels, 22 men were lost.